Hello everyone, welcome back. I do hope you've had a fantastic week. I certainly have. And I just thought that today we would try something a little bit different. So you can see I have graphite powder. I have this little stencil thing, not quite sure yet whether I will be using it yet or not, but we can have a look and we can see to create a background. And I have my Tombow Mono Zero eraser, piece of kneaded eraser, a blending stump, and I have a 2B pencil. What we're going to try and do is we are going to experiment and draw this. However, I'm thinking of doing it in a negative drawing way. So we're going to lay down charcoal, the background with the powder, and then we are going to pull out with our kneaded eraser certain areas, and then we're going to put back in again with our pencil. So with no further ado, oh, by the way, this photograph is on Unsplash. I just looked for orchids in pot, or orchid pot plant, and this is what popped up. So very, very nice that we're able to access photographs like that. So I'm going to use this piece of paper towel. I'm going to wrap it around my finger like this. I'm going to dip it in, tap it off, and then I'm going to slowly rub it onto the page. I'm going to dip it in again. I'm going to keep on doing this until I've basically filled up the entire page. So it has come off of my finger, and I actually just want to put it back on again because I do feel that, yeah, there we go, gives it a bit more depth. Right, so we're going to fill up most of this page. As you can see, we're getting a really nice deep tone here, which is what we want for that orchid. Our light is coming from the right hand side, so this left hand side I feel almost needs to be a bit darker than the right, but we don't want to go in too much, as you know. You just do it slowly and build it up as per every single tutorial that I do on my channel. I believe in building up layers slowly. This is going to be quite interesting though. I haven't done this before. This is the first time I'm actually doing this and just going straight in and recording it as a tutorial for everybody. So let's see what happens. If it's a big fail, well, I won't be uploading it to my YouTube channel, I suppose. You won't know. But I don't think it is going to be a big fail. Something I've been wanting to try, and you can do this with any subject. I would try this with portrait, but for this particular tutorial I'm going to do a simple orchid in a pot. So as you can see, I have the right hand side lighter than the left hand side, and that's purely because of how I see where the light source is coming from. Just going to go back in here again. To me, it looks like the light source is coming in on the right hand side, and I don't want my pot to get too dark. Just going to go across the bottom here, get a bit more depth, which has now lightened this dramatically. So I'm going back over it again. Don't worry too much about it not, being very, very smooth like we do for the realistic portraiture. I don't think that is the sort of look that I'm going for, although you can decide. So I'm putting that to one side, the charcoal powder to one side, and I'm now going to pick up my kneaded eraser. Just want to get rid of, I've got a lot of charcoal powder everywhere. Put my photograph back here. You can see that we have a pot, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to lift that So you can use your kneaded eraser on its side. We just want to get the shape, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because this is not really about perfection. This is more about the process. And I'm not even going to do anything on this side of the pot except there, because that will, got a very, very slight line there. So we've already got our shadow in there. And we can come around top of the pot. We've got the stem. Now, if you look at these stems, they have notches on them. We're not going to do this exact flower because it is quite difficult, but I'm going to put in the stem first, purely because we want to do the leaves after, and just make sure that we have, I'm going to put in notches like that. I quite like that. I do feel that my stem is a little bit thick. I've used too much of my kneaded eraser, but that's fine because I can come in with my blending stump and blend it thinner. And that's what's so nice about the blending stump. Even here, where I've gone out of the pot, and I can make this just a tad thinner too, just so that the brain picks up the fact that it is shadow in a pot. It's already starting to look fabulous, I think. Okay, let's go in for, let's do our leaves. So now I'm using it at a completely different angle, and you can see here that you're not really seeing that leaf shape, but I'm going to put in that shadow. So I'm going to put that shadow in, and I'm going to put in just across the top of the leaf on this side, and that gives a suggestion of a leaf. You can already see that it's starting to look like one, and we can pull that out again just to make sure that we have that leaf look. And let's go up. Now this leaf is coming up and then towards the right, so I am going to make this quite chunky, and it goes like that. So that's also looking fairly good. Then we have another leaf that comes out to the side. You don't have to put all of these leaves in. That's the other thing. You just want a suggestion. All that you want is that the viewer knows that those are leaves going into a pot. And I think that looks quite cool. We could do one across here. Sort of feel there's one missing over here. And this one, I want to, there we go. Okay, so we've already got a really cool looking negative drawing. Okay, what is that? Okay, something on my paper that for some reason doesn't really matter. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to come in on the side here. Now remember that this is an experiment. I haven't done this before, but I'm quite keen to try it out. So I'm trying it out with you guys. Straight off the hat, put a bit of a shadow underneath there. And you can almost carve out the shape of these leaves. It's just extraordinary. That's what I love about graphite. Absolutely love graphite drawing, as I'm pretty sure you all realize if you watch a lot of my YouTube videos. Right, now we've got the stem going up, and I'm going to use my mono eraser actually, because I want the stem to be quite visible. I love the light on it. So, and we can get a thinner stem, which is what I'm aiming for. Get those nodules. They're a bit exaggerated, I know, but that's fine. I also just want to get that leaf. Oh, it's looking beautiful. absolutely beautiful. So we can get that leaf and we do that. So now we are getting a really great impression of an orchid in a pot without doing a huge amount of work, really. There we go. Just making sure that these are neat. And I am going to put in a little bit from my blending stump here, the shadow after the rim. And there we go. It's looking absolutely fabulous as far as I'm concerned. Now the flowers. There are a lot of them and they are not that easy to draw. You can see that they have 2 at the bottom and 3 at the top, and they're quite sort of concentrated. So let's go in. Let's do the top one, which is generally that shape, and then we have one on the side. You do not have to pull out the entire petal shape, so don't get too worried about it. We just want that orchid look, and that is all that you need to do. So we're going to do a couple of them because obviously there are quite a few. We're just going to go down the stem. I know I haven't put the whole stem in, and we're just going to give an impression that that is the orchid. We can do one at the top here because we have the stem going out the top, and that's at another angle, so that one is also fine. And then at the bottom here, just to make it easier for everybody, we can put in buds, because negative drawing is quite something to achieve, and obviously it takes practice. So we're going to put one in here, and just remember that it is an impression. It's not a definite, and you can put in as many as you like. I mean, that's obvious, it's your drawing. So all of mine are kind of facing the same way, which is not really what we want to be doing. So this last one, I'm going to put it in facing that way. There's my stem. There's a suggestion of my stem. So how cool is that? And then we can go in and we can define the actual petals if you like. You don't have to do this either. I'm going to just take out a little bit here on this one. So look at the shape of your petals and kind of try to do them in a very, very similar way. I'm going to take my 2B and I'm just going to put in a suggestion of that little middle bit. I can do that on each flower. Just a little tiny suggestion, not a huge amount of graphite. Don't lay down a huge amount. So sorry about the noise in the background if my mic is picking it up. But as I've said to you before, this is a estate, and we do have some really loud people on here sometimes. They're having a nice party, which is fine. Okay, so there we go. We have basically, oh my word, that just jumped straight out of my hand, forgive me. We're just going to do this here just to get this correct. And as I said to you before, remember, it is a suggestion, so the brain will fill in whatever it needs to fill in. It's not necessary for you to put in every single little detail. So I absolutely love that. I'm not sure what you guys think of it. but I think it is just absolutely beautiful. Then what I thought was, they talk about those bokeh backgrounds, B-O-K-E-H. I thought this little thing would be quite nice just to randomly pull out some of these. I'm pulling out a little bit too much, I think. I don't want it to interfere with the flowers as such, but just to get a bit of a background going, or you can just leave it as it is. You don't have to do any of this. And I'm almost thinking that one doesn't need to, because it does detract quite a bit from the flower itself. And you can go around this, because what's so nice about this graphite is that when you blend it like I am, it does tend to deepen the tone of it. So you can literally go in and deepen it wherever you want to. And like here, where I'm not happy, I still feel it's a bit thick. You can literally go in and, oh, there, I've got the notches in. That looks cool. Okay, so there we go. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Very, very quick, but it's nice to do some things that are quick and don't take a lot of time with an amazing effect. And I do hope that you have enjoyed this as much as I have. I've loved doing this with you. And yeah, just have an awesome day and an awesome week and experiment. You can, as I say, you can use this for anything. This is just a flower that I've done as something, as a simple subject. But obviously you can do whatever you want to do. And you can see I'm starting to fiddle now, and this is probably the worst thing that happens with any artist, but I just want to find those and just make them look a little bit neater. There we go, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it and have fun doing it, and good practice.